Hey guys, this is Bucks from Bucks Send It. Today we're doing something I've got a lot of questions on, is the Assault Industries roof fan. I'm gonna give some pro cons, fairly quick video, but if you're debating this, there's no sponsorship, nothing's tied into this. I have no connectivities or sponsorship with anything Super ATV. It just so happened to be on the machine I bought. And I've had it for about a year now, all 4 seasons, so I've got some good pros and cons. So if you're debating buying this or back and forth, I might give you some reasons why you want to get this one, or some reasons you might want to look at other options. This is a conversation piece. A lot of times I've got stopped in trail, asked questions about this specifically, and it kind of depends on where you're riding. So if you're riding East Coast versus West Coast, if you're wanting something that's a little bit more attention grabbing, this does get a few questions asked at the stops on the trail along the way. Now if you're West Coast or wide open terrain, very groomed trails, this first one may not be an issue to you, but it's been kind of a 4 or 5 different times since I've had this where I thought I've about ripped it off. If you can't tell, it does stick up. Now with the tape measure, you're looking at about, you factor 3.5 inches easily. Even if you have a little curvature in the roof, it's probably closer to 3 1/4 dead level. And even with this roof, if you notice, and I've ran across this before getting in some tight spots, you notice I can actually push and flex in my roof enough to squeeze a little bit, but I have had to get the whole side by side off camber, off to the side, to avoid some stuff. I've literally got out and the big vines and stuff or tree branches multiple times. I've had to get out and help something over it, because this is plastic. So if you come around across the right side at the right speed, you could potentially break it off. Now I've seen these mounted both ways, in the forward direction like this or flipped around. I don't think it really makes any much of a difference. Rain coming into this is probably where a lot of the designs show it kind of coming opposite. I have ran this in the rain, and the first pro that I'm gonna give to this is a filter design right here. You can take this out, clean it, so any air that you are pulling inside, you're pulling fresh clear air, versus the overhead fans where you're just kind of pulling and recirculating. That's one of the big benefits there, but the amount of airflow is kind of a different ball game. But we'll hop inside and I'll show you some of the other key takeaways or thought processes. All right, so we're gonna go through some pros, cons, do a sound test, a few different things here. Now, the one thing to keep in mind, that this is a $500 fan. Granted, you might can find sales and discounts and coupon codes and stuff like that on the internet, but this is not the cheap option, especially depending on how much air you're trying to get. Now, as far as a safety thing or a space thing that I do like about it, in comparison to some of the overhead fans and stuff you mount it, and this is really with any accessory. I've seen some stuff, I don't like accessories if you get jostled around, that all of a sudden your head's potentially in contact. A lot of people like to chop the cages. This cage is a little bit lower than the factory. Same thing with sound bar, stuff like that. I'm not just talking about fans, but this one is fairly tight. Let me get you a quick measurement just in case you need that. So for that, I mean, you're looking at 1 inch, 1.5 inches for where the little fans are there, or rotating pieces for the fans. So again, very much out of the way compared to some of the other units. Not saying that anything's wrong with the overhead fan, but again, just safety, peace of mind. 1, this is very compact, and 2, if you do decide to go a different route, just keep in mind, keep it away from your head. Make sure it is mounted solid, where if you do take a tumble or tip or something like that, it's not loosely mounted, it's knocking loose coming into the cab with you. Just a little safety thing that I do like about that one. Even though, and I'm gonna get the meter out, it does not have as good an airflow as compared to the big overhead fan units. Now, read some of the pros right off of it, and I'll point them out. Now, it says 360 degrees of fan. It's basically just these little units right here. You can open and close them as you see fit, and you can rotate them, and it does help direct air where you want to. But again, you gotta have a certain amount of airflow to direct a certain amount of airflow. Their rating is 250 CFM. It does have an effect. How much of an effect? I'll kind of go into that there. Now, if you're cruising along slow technical speeds, I do have this fan, especially in the summertime, on wide open. It does help move some air. Now, compared to some of the bigger overhead fans, this one does not move nearly as much air, and those vary a lot. There's a lot of different universal kits, different fans, you know, different CFM, and you can look up the CFM at an individual unit or combined. That's their rating. You can look up the rating of the others. Now, the overhead ones, they're pulling the air from basically the cab or the outside lips. It's not an outside filtered air pulled in. Now, the benefit there, especially in the wintertime, I can include a video, or you can look up the YouTube on the YouTube channel that I've got here. I did a fairly cheap enclosure this winter, and you don't think of fans in the wintertime, but I used it. Now, once it's enclosed, if it was one of those days where it was getting warm enough to where being in a cab enclosure in here got to be stuffy, I didn't have to necessarily start cracking vents and windows and stuff like that. I would literally just reach up and start pulling a little bit of that outside fresh air in here. And on a day that wasn't hot, but in a full cab enclosure, slow speed, the sun's kind of baking it and I don't need the heater, this fan was a good temperature control, pulling in fresh air, whereas your overhead, once you move air, it's going to help out, but you're not pulling in fresh air. So that is a pro compared to the overhead units here. It can operate on 12 volt or 48 volts. Again, just about any of our side-by-side stuff is going to be 12 volt. But I guess if you wanted to throw this in a golf cart or something like that, or they come out with an electric side-by-side, that might be a thing, who knows. Filter is washable. Again, I do like that part. So again, you are filtering a little bit of air. And it does help with the dust some. So you're pulling out air. It's creating a positive airflow where it's pushing out the cab versus creating a suction. Does it help? Yes, but is it like absolutely positive pressure and just keeping every ounce of dust out of here? Absolutely not. It helps in like a 25% if I had to put a percentage on there, but it's not like you're going to go ride in a super dusty environment. There's going to be no dust in here because you had this on here. And then like as you get up to speed, the amount of air that you're pulling in here versus what the cab is naturally doing, it's kind of negating its way out. But slow, dusty environments, it is noticeable. It does help keep some dust out of the cab a little bit, especially depending on, again, everybody side by side. It's different aerodynamics, windshield, what your layout is, but in general, I would say other than that. Now, cons, again, you're going to get more airflow cheaper with whether you build your own overhead fan or a lot of the ones that you can buy. Absolutely, they move more air at a better price there. The biggest one, I wish somebody else would kind of do something, is your filtering air versus just recirculating the air that's here. So if you've got dust in your cab and you're pulling in, depending on where the dust is coming from, you're pushing in, you are kind of putting air in here that's not necessarily just throwing dust in here, which again, everybody's windshield, cab, whole setup can vary quite a bit. If you decide to do this just as a plug directly to your 12 volt battery and don't do a switch or a switch disconnect or second battery of some type, again, this, if you wire it up like this without having some type of disconnect to this unit, when it's off, it's going to draw just a little bit of power. And then they also say not to operate it in the rain. I have done that. Not advising it. Like when I say in the rain, it's been some light rain, trail riding, stuff like that. Not like a monsoon. I had this thing wide open to see if it's pulling water in here. But Assault does say not to use this in the rain. Now it does have two lights, which lights are always beneficial. One's in the front, one's in the back here. Again, not the biggest deal. And you can see there's two little wires, yellow and black right here. But again, if you decide just to grab this here and run it straight to the battery, this thing does use a little bit of juice, and you will have a dead battery on a long sitting with the vehicle not in use. You've got a few different modes here. And I'm gonna try to get a filter here, and let's turn on some. If you can tell, it makes some noise. Now, how loud this is compared to your side-by-side, really depends on the side-by-side. Like if you had the machine off and you had this wide open and you're trying to talk to somebody behind, you would probably turn the fan down. If you're riding a KRX like this, you're probably making enough noise with the motor where this kind of negates it. Once you get up in the RPMs, it's negated. Now if you was driving a Honda Talon or a Pioneer or something that's really great at cruising and having a conversation, KRX is not, I like this machine, but that's not the machine to cruise at 15 miles an hour and carry on a conversation without almost yelling at each other, especially once you get into aftermarket exhaust and stuff like that. So alright, so let's see what kind of sound. I'm gonna hold it right here. Just me talking's around 60 to 70 ish. Yep, 71 right there. And that's right at 79 to 80. As I'm talking, we're getting up into the 80 something for a decibel, but a little bit louder than voice conversation wide open. All right, let's fire the machine up. We're around 81, 82 with the KRX just sitting here idling. Neutral. And at 6,000 to 7,000 RPMs, we went from that 80, right at 80 with the machine off, to 82 with the machine idling, to 90 to 100. And again, other machines may be just as loud as this. If you're in a Talon or a Pioneer, it's going to be quieter off that. But like in this case scenario, once you get up in the RPM and you're actually riding and using RPMs, the machine's louder. And what this is, you're having to wait for the RPMs to calm down. Now, turn that back off. Now again, that is off. Sitting one, you still got some air. Nothing too crazy. It's about 65. As I'm speaking, it's bumping up there. So just kind of give you, not a make or break, and some of the other fans are just as loud or louder. So not that loud of a fan. It's a little louder than conversation. If you was wide open and the machine was off, or you had a very quiet machine, you might turn the fan sitting down if you're carrying a conversation with your passenger to the side or front to back as a possibility there. Let's go back. So that's 30, this is feet per second, but. All right, so I want to do this so there's no real confusion. This is measuring feet per second. This is the speed that's actually coming out of this fan. Now, it was close to 30 with the overhead unit, which again is the speed, not the volume, not the CFM. This 18 volt, and this is probably pretty close to the average of most, so I can get about 17 to 18 if I hold it in the right spot. The CFM on most of these are probably 450 to 650, so probably 2 times plus the amount of CFM that's in this actual amount of air. The speed is coming out faster in that smaller hole that's in the overhead. This is an air canyon. And the same thing, if I hold it in the right spot, I can probably get about 20 as I've played around with it before. And again, the small duct that's coming out of that overhead fan is moving air faster This one I think is rated, don't quote me, I want to say around 2300 CFM. So this one's producing about 2000. You can, if you stood in front of this and other fan, you can tell this would cool you off a lot better. It's moving a lot more air. I'm just showing out of the small holes the actual speed that's coming out. Use CFM if you're making comparison. You have that as your data source. Again, 2000 plus CFM, at least twice the CFM, but the actual speed coming out of those small holes, they are getting some speed, but it's not the volume of air because of the smaller holes. So kind of the same thing, you duct something down, you can make the speed a little bit faster, like if it comes out of your air hose, but if it's coming out of a 4 or 5 inch hose, it's not going to have that same speed, but it's cubic feet is where you're really getting your cooling measurement. Again, this is going to cool you a lot better than this one, and same thing with the overhead. So if you're looking at overhead units and they have a CFM rating, that 240 compared to whatever you're looking at is your better comparison there in comparison fans. This is just kind of out of the small ducts. It does put a good speed of air, but it's not a big volume compared to some of the overheads. What I'm trying to get out there. Again, that's a decent airflow compared to some of the electric fans. I would say 25% to 50-ish% of what other fans are potentially, maybe even a little less, depending on, again, size, amperage. They do vary a decent amount, but again, does it help? Yes. Is there better fans out there? For sure. But again, if you have any questions, just ask. But there's some unique benefits to it. Is it worth the money? That's really a question you have to ask yourself. But again, hope this helps you. If you have any questions, ask. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like, share, and subscribe. And if I have an accessory or something else you see on the channel you get questions about, again, I'll give you a good, bad, or different, but honest review. Till the next venture, hope you have a good one.